Hey everybody, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. My name's Craig. This is my shop. Or should say my garage. I don't own a shop, but it's one and the same. I've got the Chrysler back in again. We had replaced the oil pan gasket because it was leaking like a sieve, and when we were under there, we noticed that the transmission pan was leaking even worse than the oil pan. So we've got to change that pan, and we might as well change the filter, fluid, everything there. And then we also have a battery that tests at about 8 volts after a full charge. Won't hold anything at all. Tried a couple of times to charge it up and with no luck. The interesting thing about these Chryslers, these 200s, is the battery is located way down there. So in order to get to it, you got to turn the wheel, open the fender well, and take the battery out to put the battery in. And on this one, it's probably easier to take the wheel off to do it all. So we're going to get busy doing all that, and then just running a final check on all the fluids and everything on the car, make sure it's good to go, and then get it off to its new home so my Mustang can get back in here because it's winter and I don't want it outside. It needs to be in here. So let's get busy. So I'm going to spare you all the details. I drove her up on the ramp, makes it a little easier, got the jack underneath it, jacked the car up, and put a jack stand under it. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that because if you don't know how to do that, you probably shouldn't be doing this to begin with. So got my Timu impact wrench and a socket. They say you don't have to take the wheel off to get to the battery. The battery's up in here, but for the purpose of showing you guys where everything's at and how to do it, we're going to go ahead and take the wheel off. And a lot of you will find that it is a lot easier if you take this wheel off to get this battery out of here. But let's get this wheel off and then we can start hunting down the battery. Okay, let's get the lug nuts off. Set those right over here out of the way. Then we can get our wheel off. Yeah. I gotta be kidding me. Let's grab an hammer and pop that sucker. So I got my rubber mallet just in case. Jeez, Chrysler. What are you thinking? Okay, we got our tire out. So one of the things this also makes easier is the transmission pan is right behind this little piece of plastic. So working at it from this angle will be a lot easier than crawling up under it from the front. Now, our battery is located right in here, and it looks like someone's definitely had it out. So we've got a few screws. It's like a 10 millimeter. Oh no, these are push buttons. So let me go grab that tool, and then looks like a 1/4-inch drive socket. Wow, definitely hasn't been driven for a minute. Some grooves in it. Might want to consider brakes too, but yeah, look at the rust on here. That's why it was so hard to get off. It looks like this car has seen some winters a little bit maybe. But yeah, let's get this apart so we can get into that battery. This one down here is already broken. Yeah, let's get the rest of them. I brought a few different tools. I've got this clip remover, this clip remover, this clip remover, so we'll see which one works best. And then we'll know for sure what we have to do. I've also got a pair of pliers, pair of needle nose. I do need some light in here though. So we've got a clip here. Let's see, a clip over here. Here we go. the middle of it just pulls out. And then you can take it off from there. And you don't have to take the middle all the way out, just enough to release it. So it pushes in, get it squared up real quick. Pushes in, and when it pushes in, this expands, and that's what holds it in place. Like I say, you don't have to pull it all the way out, just enough to get it to release. We'll put that right there. Maybe one more right here. And the metal tool works a lot better than the plastic ones do. Metal ones got no qualms about pulling it out. Plastic one pulls it farther. Fits all the way up in there once you've got it loose. And all you got to do is get the whole thing out. And again, use the big plastic tool for it, and it pops right out of there. We've got that, and it looks like a couple of 10 millimeters. Button. No, that one's good. That one's good. And another one right up here. Looks like we don't have any bolts. Yeah, they're all plastic clips. So let's see, we got that one, that one. Get those off. Those two screws. Loosen all that up. And we've got one more plastic clip right back here. This is the new puppy. He's now up to well over 50 pounds now. 7 months old. What you doing? Very, very curious. This one doesn't mind the noise. The other one could do without it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They both, if it's too loud, they'll just come start barking at it. Or you, whichever. Pull this down like so, and there's your battery. Wonderful place to locate it, isn't it? All right, now looks like we've got a couple of 10s. This out here. By the way, these are 7s. And I believe this is a 10. And of course, I can't get to it from here. Let's try the sideway. Yep, that's a 10 too. Under normal circumstances, we would want to pull that negative off first, but I can't even see it. So that definitely makes it a little harder. And then we've got our holder. But one of the nice things is this thing's so dead, I don't think we have to worry about it. Yeah, that's loose. We'll have to stick that in there and get it real loose. We can lift her up off there. There she goes. This is the easy one. The other one's a little bit tougher. Well, we gotta get it out of here first. There we go. So that's out. And then we can stick this up behind. There's a little bracket right here. We can hide it behind that. That should work well to keep it out of the way anyway. And it is stiff. But there we go. So that's out of the way. I can't see the, let me go grab my flashlight because I can't see the other one. This is one of my favorite lights now. It's got the hook and you can rotate it any direction you really want to go. All right, let's see what we got here. So it looks like we want to take the battery hold down off first. Hi, Boots. Coming to help? Huh? You coming to help? Hi, how you doing? I do not see how it mounts on the other side if it just hooks. Hopefully it just hooks. Hi, Trouble. There it goes, yeah. This just goes in and then goes up like that to lock it in place. This brings it out. So now we can almost see the oh yeah, see, I can't even move it. I'm going to have to go with a long extension, a little bit of grab and extension. Wow. And again, same thing with the negative. Get it up under this bar that's right here. That'll keep them out of the way. Get that positive back. What are you doing? Pest. And last but not least, we want to take off this brace here. You don't have to take it fully out, just set it aside. And now we can get our battery out of there. This is where the go handle comes in handy, and this one don't have one. So we're going to have to muscle it on out of there. So let's move this stuff all aside. Can I help you? I don't know why having puppies in the garage is a bad thing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to muscle this out of here. This will be fun. Like, come on, Chrysler, you gotta come up with something a little bit better than this, right? And here she comes. Good thing it's a small battery, let's put it that way. Caught at the bottom. And voila. One battery out. Isn't that special? So I'm going to take a break now, go get the other battery so we can bring it back and get it put into place, because it would be nice to have it. And this did have a handle on it. It looks like somebody took it off. I would have at least left one side of it. That way if somebody needed to grab it, they could at least pull up from one side. But
2 hours later.
Give a little more light on the subject. This one, as Derek at Vice Grip Garage says, has a go handle. So that'll make it a lot easier putting it in place. I am going to leave the positive on there while I load it in, and that will definitely keep it from possibly shorting out or anything. So let's get this up in place. And as I'm trying to put it in place, I'm going to actually try to grab the negative on the way through. That would make it really nice. Let's see if we can move that down. And as we go by it, we'll hook it on. But maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We can do. Yeah, we can't. We just have to hoist this up into place. So the go handle doesn't help much. But she goes right into place, so that's nice. So let me get my light back on in here so I can see my connections right there. Wow, they really don't make this easy, do they? Let's put you back up here. Let's see if we can pull that battery out a little bit to get to that cable. Definitely be a easier way to do it. Just bring it back this way a little bit. And then get in there with the wrench. Or we could spin it all the way out. Get this go handle away from it. Spin it so it's faced out. like so. Nope, I've got to have the extension so I can reach. Too much extension. Get a little less extension here. Can't see the bolt. No, it's still too long. I'll try it by itself. See how it goes. Like I said, this go handle's in the way. Might be why they removed it from the last one. And it's tight. So there we go. Now we can push her all the way back in there. And before we do the positive side, let's get our mounts and everything back on. And what's really cool about this is it'll lock into place right here. So if you're taking it off, well, it should, but right now it's not. It's snapped off. But you just lock it up and it holds it in place while you pull it out. Which would be nice, but I don't think it matters. We're going to leave the go handle pointed all the way up. And I think I can actually remove it. It's probably the best thing to do. So let me do that. We've got our bolt hole down here at the bottom, right there. And the bolts that they use are all pretty much the same size, so you don't have to worry about putting the wrong one in the wrong place. You know what, putting it back together again is a lot easier than taking it apart. And good there. There we go. The last one's going to be the 13. These bolts are all 13s. These are all 10s. So get yourself a 10 and a 13 and you can pretty much take this whole thing apart. Then of course a clip tool. And that bolt goes back in here, like so. And our battery's back in place. Now all we have to do is put the plastics back and we're done. And I was going to leave the wheel off, but I'm not going to leave the wheel off in case I have to move the car for some reason or another. Next week we are going on vacation, so I'll be skipping a week's video. Of course, there'll be a video playing for you the week we're on vacation, but depending upon when I get back is when we finish up that trans pan. But for now, we've got the battery in it, so at least we can start and move the car on a regular basis. Problem with the car before was you would have to put the jumper on it, and you'd have to do the big one. The battery that was in it was swollen like no tomorrow, so that's definitely an issue. It being swollen like that just tells me that that battery was bad and getting worse. So let's get this wheel back on and we can finish up this job And it's one more thing to get the Chrysler towards the finish line. And the last thing you want to do is torque all your lug nuts down. I'm not going to torque them because I may be taking this wheel back off again, but we'll give her a few other doubles on this to make sure she stays on. Battery replaced, car ready to go. The only thing I'm going to do is turn it on, make sure it's working, but should be. I would hope so. I would hate to have to take it all back apart again because there's something wrong with the battery. That would really bite. Voila. So the only thing I've got left to do is take it off the jack stand and put it back on the ramps. And that way, if it needs to move, it can move. I don't want to leave it on a jack stand, especially not knowing when I'm going to get back to the car. If I had the time today, I would finish it up, but just today ran a little bit longer than I thought it would. I had a couple of other little home projects I had to do, like remodel a bathroom. So with that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Any comments, concerns, questions, pretty much anything, just let me know. But that's all there is to replacing a battery in one of these. A lot of the other Chryslers that's in the trunk, this is the only one I think that's down there, but PT Cruiser I think is like that too, or somewhere near that anyway. But that kind of tells you where everything's at. Make sure I put all my connectors back on. But again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.